Hi, I'm Archie Tillett, and today we're going to talk to you about fitting a kart seat. So the fundamental part of fitting a kart seat is the top section. You always want it to be a firm feeling in your chest, but never too tight, never too loose. The problem is that when it gets a bit too loose, obviously the driver will be moving around a lot, increases the chance of an injury. On the other side as well, if the seat is too tight, typically when a driver is getting bigger, the kart, obviously being young, we grow, the seat basically starts to compress them, so you pre-compress your ribs before you even go to the corner, rib injury. So you always want it a nice firm feeling across the chest and your hips. Obviously again, you want it firm, not too tight, not too loose, but in the hips you can always pad it out. 5 mil is what we would recommend if it's needed. Like myself, I run no foam, absolutely fine. So a little bit more in-depth information about the kart seat. So when fitting a driver into a seat, you want to be able to put your fingers down the side. You don't want to be able to reach the hip bone. You just want it to feel nice and firm in there, so that they're being held properly, essentially. Again, same for the top. You want to be able to just start to get your fingertips down the side, ideally. You have to keep in mind you've got your race suit, bulbs to go in there as well, so be conscious of leaving space for those. So a bit more information about the depth of the seat. You don't want the driver loading up side of the ribs too far back. What happens is that if you start loading up back there, the ribs are a little bit more fragile back there, so you always want to try and keep it on the center point, so the driver should always be loading it. Ricky, if you want to lean forward for me a little bit, into this sort of section here, which is where Ricky is. So that's what you're looking for. Quick tip, also for the P1 Defender. So usually what I like to do whilst I'm driving is I push the plate down a little bit. Gives me a little bit more room, helps the rib protector sit a little bit more flush to your stomach. Another key tip is watch the gap distance between the rib protector sides. Usually if the if the seat is too small, this gap here will be compressed in quite a lot. What you're looking for is that this gap shouldn't change at all once you've got it on and you get in the cart. That should be identical. If it's being pushed in, seat's too small, you're going to get rib injury. A bit of information about the height of the seat. So you can see here from Ricky, this is the ideal sort of height we would like the rib protector in the seat to be. The rib protector is hitting the key points at the top of the bolts, which is where all the load will go through the ribs. What you'll find is that the driver is too tall for the seat. A lot of the rib protector will be sticking out the top. What happens is you start loading up the bottom ribs, a lot weaker, really prone to injury, so you always want to load from the center. On the other hand, if the seat is too big for the driver, they'll start hitting their arms on the top of the seat. Again, they're not able to support the body properly, they're going to go through a corner, they're going to hit their arm on the top. It's not a comfortable experience, so you always want to aim for this ideal position here.